everyone, and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show, where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. And when it comes to Thanksgiving, it's really important, at least for me. I know it's for me, I don't know about you, but I like to spend my wine dollars wisely because I have a lot of people, and you don't want to spend a lot of money on each bottle of wine, but you want it to be good wine. And this is part 2 of my Grenache experiment. I think I mentioned before, last year we the year before we busted out some Grenache, and everybody loved it. It seemed to go really well with the meal. So I'm getting away from Zinfandel. Obviously Pinot Noir is a good choice, but again, I always think with Pinot, you have to be careful not to get it too acidic. It needs to have a little bit of, baby fat, maybe some California sunshine. There are some out of Oregon, of course, that have a little more fruit to them. And the reason I say that, unless you know exactly who's there, what their wine preferences are, I could invite 4 people to Thanksgiving, knowing what they like, and I could probably bring out a Burgundy that's got a lot of acid to it, and they'd probably be perfectly happy. The main thing is to drink wine that you like. I mean, really, you can drink anything, really. I mean, you can do whatever you want. Of course you can. It's your palate, it's your house, it's your money. But I'm thinking that Grenache is a good play, and we got 3 here, so I'm going to get started right away. I don't want this to go too long. This is the Domaine Lafage Nicolas, 100% Grenache Noir, Vieilles Vines, which means old vines, excuse me. My French isn't the best. And this is basically out of an area called Côtes Catalans, which is really close to Spain, really close. Just north of Spain and near the Pyrenees Mountains, really close to the Mediterranean. And this rolls in at $13. By the way, this was my pick of the month a couple of months ago at the store. So I'm thinking this one, and the reason I say Grenache with Thanksgiving, and I've explained this before, but I'll say it again, just in case you didn't get a chance to see the other one. We'll call this Grenache with Thanksgiving Part 2. Grenache has lower tannins, but really good flavor. It's light like a Pinot Noir, but not quite as light as a Pinot Noir. You're not going to get heavy acidity, although sometimes in Spanish Grenache, or Garnache as they call it, we have one right here, by the way, because you have some higher elevation, you can get some acidity. But most Grenache are solid flavors, sometimes a little bit spicy, but not too heavy. You have to go to the Rhone Valley to get that real super spiciness out of Grenache. You can sometimes in Spain as well. But anyway, so I think it's a perfect match because of the savory foods of Thanksgiving. Really subtle flavors. I think you need something that isn't quite so bombastic. A lot of people like Zinfandel. That's fine. I love Zin. But over the last 5 or 6 years I've had Thanksgiving with Zinfandel, I've been a little bit disappointed. Just saying. Let's see what we get on the nose with the Lafage Grenache Noir. So typical of French wine. Oh, by the way, got the beard going on. No Shave November. Just showing my love for curing cancer. I mean, it's really important to me. As I mentioned before, my mom died at 42, around 42, when she was of cancer. I had a friend that died of cancer, so. It means a lot to me that we help, try and find a cure for cancer. A little bit of strawberry coming through, a little bit of red berry. I'm getting just a tiny hit of licorice and a little bit of earthiness. Let's see what we get on the palate. $13. Now I can live with that. Now you see this has a little bit of white pepper going on. Nice soft tannins, but a lot of complexity in this wine. I like it. Strawberries, a little bit of plum coming through. I get a little bit of cherry as well. Tobacco notes in the backside, but everything is very well integrated. Nice and soft, but good flavors. You really can't get and the color on it, I think you can see that isn't as light as a Pinot Noir, but certainly not as dark as a Cab or a Syrah or something like that. I like the flavors. It's really good, really soft, easy, but delicious, and nice complexity. Finishes with a little bit of earthiness. The strawberries hang on big time. There's a little leather action right underneath. I like it a lot. I think this is a solid wine, and that kind of white pepper spiciness on the backside certainly plays into some of the spices of the stuffing and all the things that you have with Thanksgiving. So I think it's a good play. $13. I'm gonna go B plus, solid B plus on this wine. I like it a lot. I might even hedge towards A minus. It's that good. Let's move on. This is the Alto Cinco from 2011, so it's a little bit older, Grenache. And this is the Catalina district in the Aragons. We talked about that a little bit. There's the label. Okay, this rolls in at $14. Again, a price point that is pretty easy to handle if you're having 4 or 5 bottles of wine and you're not busting the bank. Catalina is just south and a little bit east of Rioja. It's one of the many districts in the Aragons region, Carolina, and this is 100% Grenache. And we talked a little bit about it. Spain does a tremendous job with Grenache. They call it Garnacha there. Pretty easy to put those two together, figure that out. Oh, Garnacha must be Grenache, right? Now this has some green bell pepper action on the nose. A little bit of licorice coming through. This is interesting, very interesting. That's a little bit older. I doubt if you'll be able to get an 11, but these guys are good producers. It's interesting though, I looked it up on Wine Searcher and that was the only vintage they had, so I'm curious about that. Yeah, tobacco coming through. That green bell pepper is really there. A little bit of earthiness. Let's see what we get on the palate. This has 7 years on it. I'm getting some interesting like coffee chocolate notes to this. A little more high toned on the palate. So there's some acidity here, but it's not overbearing. Not like if you get a really acidic Burgundy or a Pinot Noir that can be kind of high in acid. This is balanced. I like this wine a lot. I hope I can get some more of this. This is nice. That high tone, licorice, chocolate, coffee bean. Getting some darker fruits on this one. I'm heading towards kind of a boysenberry notes on this one. Boysenberry, and there's some barbecue spices coming through. This one's a little meatier, which is interesting. I like that high tone sort of thing. It makes it an excellent food wine. A little bit juicy, but not over the top. In fact, I would be curious to see what the alcohol content is on this one. If I don't see it right away, I won't waste your time here. 14%, so a little. A little bit of that's what it is. A little bit of interesting orange peel component coming through on the back end. I like this wine a lot. Now, this is in that high tone region. When you have a group over, there might be a few people that say, not sure about this wine. But I think it would go really well with the meal. I'm liking it. I think it's a well-made Garnacha. I'm not sure if you can get your hands on it, so But it was interesting in Wine Search, only 11 was available. Usually you can do 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, not in this particular one. And I'm curious where I got this. Bodegas, blah, 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 imported by Purple Wine Company. Might be Venom. Anyway, good wine. I'm going to go straight up B on that one. Let's move on to the next one. Jed Steele, a big-time winemaker down in Lake County. I've been to the winery. It's a great spot. I love Jed Steele. He's a good guy. He's a good winemaker. He put Kendall Jackson on the map, and then he went out on his own. And he does several labels. He does Shooting Star, Writer's Block, and of course Steel. And then he does a Stymie label. So he has quite a few. This is a Writer's Block Grenache, Lake County. This rolls in at $15. Now, Writer's Block is a kind of a label that his son Quincy has had a big part in as well. So let's see what we get on the nose. Again, color on this one, a lot lighter. Actually, the darkest one of the bunch was the one from Carnina. Yeah, but the color on this is light. Again, once again, not as light as a Pinot, but not as dark as a Cab, Syrah, that sort of thing. Kind of a perfume. It's almost like a, like a soap. You know, those really fancy soaps. It has that kind of a perfume soap. I'm getting almost this is weird. I'm getting a little, what seems like eucalyptus, but not quite. Red flowers. Interesting. I'm almost getting like those oatmeal granola bars. Getting a little bit of that, and this again wants a lot more of those type of things than the fruit itself. I do get a little bit of a strawberry cherry thing going on. Anyway, let's see what we get on the palate. Interesting. I think it was a Writer's Block that 2 years ago we opened up and everybody just loved it. A little more serious on the tannins on this one. I get a little grip action on the backside. I get a little bit of leather. Definitely getting kind of a strawberry meets, like strawberry pie meets. If you did a strawberry cherry pie sort of thing, if you could imagine that, that's kind of what I'm getting. A little more grip on this one. Vintage on this? Did I say the vintage? 2015. Okay, I don't think I did that. Sorry, guys. 2015 Writer's Block Grenache. This is seriously complex Grenache right here. Wow. Tobacco. I get a little bit of iron. Big time grip on this one. My mouth is like all puckered up. Now, that being said, do not serve Writer's Block Grenache for Thanksgiving. This is more of a meat Grenache. You could have this one with prime rib next month when you're doing Christmas. I think this needs some age. Seriously. I wonder if he whole cluster fermented this, which means I don't take the stems off. I'm not sure. I didn't see him do that when I was down there helping with the harvest one year. But it has some serious like twig action, like twigs and leather and pretty high in acidity too. Oh, a little bit, this is a very interesting, this is very different than the past Grenache I've tasted from Writer's Block. This is high in acidity, very grippy, so the tannins are more sturdy. There's definitely some twig action in this one, which makes me think whole berry or whole cluster fermentation. But I don't ever remember Jed talking about doing that. But he's a very experimental sort of guy. He likes to do different things. I get a little bit of that citrus component on the back end of this one. Not sure how much I like this wine. Have it with food. I think this is definitely a food Grenache, but not turkey, cranberries, stuffing, sweet potatoes, none of that. That acid, that tannic grip, that kind of twiggy thing. Yeah, the citrus, not going to work. But doesn't mean the wine isn't good. It's not my favorite writer's block Grenache I've ever had, I'll be honest with you. I've had several over the years, and this is not my favorite. I have to remember that when I'm recommending the 2015. I'm going to go C+, B-. Not for any other reason that I think it's a little too high in acidity. The grip, it seems a little bit, not disjointed, but a little bit, they fight against each other a little bit. Not what I expect out of a Grenache. On the other side of that, though, if you had this with some salami, if you had it with some prime rib, rib steaks, I think you would be very, very happy with it. I do like that kind of tobacco iron component that comes through. So I'm going to say B-, straight up B-. It's above average, but it's not my favorite. There you go. We got a couple of Grenache. Now we had 2 Grenache in the part 1 that worked. I thought would work really good with Thanksgiving. These 2 would work really good with Thanksgiving. Not so much this one. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. Hook up with me on Twitter. Subscribe. There's a subscribe button down below. Please subscribe. I'd appreciate it very much. And then you hit the bell and it tells you when I have a new episode. Hopefully you're learning something from these. Hopefully you're enjoying them. And thanks for taking just a few minutes out of your day to watch. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.